Lord knows that we're not Bloomberg or the Financial Channel, but at risk of turning us into that, there is more investment news that we have to touch on today.
Oh, wow.
This is from Tynecastle.
Oh, my head's going.
The news that came out today that Brighton chairman Tony Bloom and his company behind the investment at Brighton and Hove Albion are reportedly looking to invest up to £10 million into the Tynecastle club. I mean, we don't know much at the moment, but if there is kind of legs in it, Keith, some of the players they've had.
Well, what we know is that it's more at the start, it's a partnership which would allow Hearts access to their database. And if somebody offered me, I was at Hearts, and somebody offered me access to Brighton's database, I'd run down to Brighton.
They're probably the club
with my laptop.
You'd choose.
Exactly.
The one club that would be Brighton.
When you look at the model they've, and I don't know, what is it? It's something Lizard. Is it Star Lizard? That's it. And
that's Tony Bloom's company, by the way.
Yeah. But it's genius.
Aye.
And I think it's mainly used for betting predictions, all that sort of stuff. But whatever the algorithm is that they're using to assess football players, I mean, it's success rates out of the park.
Some of them coming up on the screen. Moses Caicedo, 100 million to Chelsea. Cucurella a minute ago, 70 million to Chelsea.
Alexis
McAllister. Billy Gilmore, sold him for 50
I could have
million.
told you I don't need to be a supercomputer to be Billy Gilmore and Alexis McAllister.
That's
They're
true.
good players enough. But it's...
And of course, they've just signed Matt O'Reilly.
Right, it's sensational, right? And where Brighton can feel relaxed is they can use that same stuff, but they're not going to be looking at the same players as Hearts. Hearts will be looking about 4 tiers down from where they're looking, but everything's relative. If this supercomputer is turning up players that are within Hearts' relative wage bracket and price range, and they turn out to be as successful in Scotland as these guys have been down south, wow! I mean, I genuinely think it's a brilliant idea, and if I was Hearts, I'd really be wanting to explore it. Absolutely.
It does sound quite exciting, Nick.
Listen, it does. I mean, the Brighton model is the model everyone's looking at now and thinking that's the way to go. I think them and Brentford are another ones that have been quite revolutionary, haven't they, with their kind of growth over the recent years. But yeah, if this guy's interested in getting Hearts on board, it does look like an avenue they should definitely be keen on. In terms of numbers and investment down the line, we don't know. That could be another possibility. Hearts are a well-run club. I mean, I know that the foundation of Hearts is heavily involved, and they've done pretty well in building from a really obviously a difficult period. This looks like the next step for them, doesn't it? Especially at a time the recruitment's been a wee bit funny in the last couple of years. I'm not entirely convinced with Hearts recruitment in the last 18 months, 2 years. So they could do a wee bit of help in that side of things. But yeah, it definitely looks. I think getting hookups with these teams in England are going to be becoming the norm. I mean, Hibs, obviously with the money from the Bournemouth owner, and that's but whether or not they take advice or not, it doesn't really matter at this point in time. But they're taking the money, aren't they? But I think they're going to start to see more and more link-ups in that respect with English clubs, because they've got so much wealth and power and influence. It makes sense to hook up with them, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think in order for this to get to the point where Tony Bloom was actually getting a stake in Hearts, it would need to. I think the foundation of Hearts will have a big say in that. I think they've got 8,000 members in the region of that, and I think about 90% of them would need to be voting for it. So that is a big hurdle to go over, but the thought of getting access to Brighton's supercomputer, as I said, would...
I mean, look, I don't know anything about it, but it doesn't feel there's a downside. What could be the potential downside for
everybody's always wary.
Aye.
Why is this guy wanting? And that'll be the same case. And it's the same thing with Rangers and Kylie Fox, as we've talked about.
Aye.
What's she want? Some people actually do realise a good business opportunity. And, he's already... Tony Bloom obviously has links to the Belgian club. What's their name? That they came from nowhere. They ended up qualifying for Europe. They played Rangers. Saint-Gilloise?
Union Saint-Gilloise.
Yeah. So he's got links there.
Mm-hmm.
So he's rolling this thing out. And by the way, look at where they've came from nowhere to competing in the Champions League and in the Europa League.
Yeah.
So it does show that I think he's he's kind of got an idea what he's
Aye,
doing.
he's got a good track record at least.